Good morning, YouTube, BookTube. This is Johnny. Thought I'd make a video. I'm down the lower level, the library, and I looked at my YouTube video site, and it's been 3 days, and I don't think I've done a used book haul in a while, and so I thought I'd show you some used books that I bought the last couple of weeks. First of all, I don't know what day it is. I didn't bring down my clock. I think it's a Sunday. It's April. It could be April the 3rd, 2023. It is going on 10:20 in the morning, and it's sunny today. Yesterday it was thundering and raining and snowing, and today the sun is out. And yeah, last week I raked my flower garden and picked up some stones and leaves, and I pulled some dead grass up, but my wife says we don't really start our gardening until after Memorial Day, so I think that's in May. But yeah, we've been doing yard work and trimming the, as you all know, a couple years ago we had landscaping done around our property, and I had them put in I had a plot of ground in our backyard, and I've shown you in the past videos that I had them put in a flower garden, all new soil, take out all the rocks. And so last spring I had a really good selection of wildflowers. But anyway, this is a video. I don't know, this is already going on 2 minutes. I'm going to start showing you the used books that I have recently got from thrift stores, from the Book Nook. I volunteered at the Book Nook Friday, I think, which was the last day of March. No, I don't know if it was March. So this is really the 2nd of April. Yesterday was the 1st day of April, so it's not the 3rd. Anyway, I got the Ottoman Endgame, War, Revolution, and the Making of the Modern Middle East, 1908 to 1923 by Sian McMeekin. I collect books on the Ottoman Empire, and this is on the end of the Ottoman Empire. And so I picked this up. This is a library withdrawal. I think so. No, it looks like it was a, yep, the library withdrawal. It has the stamps in it. Anyway, I picked this up yesterday. And then I picked this up at a thrift store a couple weeks ago, or a week ago. Berthe Morisot-The, the First Lady of Impressionism by Margaret, Shennan. I never heard of this painter, but I am into Impressionism, and I didn't know that I never heard of this artist, and so I picked it up at Bibles from Mexico. There's a painting of this painter by Monet. As you all know, I'm into art history, Impressionism. It says here she was born in 1841. Berthe Morisot grew up in a cultured, well-connected family in the Paris of the Second Empire, was determined to become a professional artist, painted both by Monet, her mentor, and Renoir. Morisot was fiercely independent, avant-garde, contributing to all but one of the Impressionist exhibitions of 1874 to 86, while attracting little critical acclaim or public recognition in her lifetime. Morisot's artistic achievements were fully recognized by her own circle, which included Manet, Renoir, Degas, Whistler, Monet, and the poet Stéphane Maillard. This acclaimed biography provides the definitive account of Morisot's life and restores her to her own rightful place as the first lady of Impressionism. Never heard of her, but looked interesting. And then I picked up at the Book Nook A Border Passage from Cairo to America, A Woman's Journey by Leila Ahmed. This is a memoir. And then I picked up Fernand Braudel, Memory of the Mediterranean. This is history. He wrote a very famous book called, it was on Civilization and Capitalism. This is translated from the French by Rosalind de Albala. I can't pronounce their names. From the French by Shennan Reynolds. This is Library Withdrawal. I have another book of his in my library. He wrote this huge book on the Mediterranean. I can't remember. It doesn't mention it here in the flat. Let me see here. Oh yeah, the Mediterranean and the Mediterranean world in the age of Philip II. That's what I have. It's over there in the bookshelves. And then I picked up this at some thrift store, Mary Gordon's novel, Pearl. I collect the writings of Mary Gordon. She wrote The Shadow Man, Final Payments. I have some of my favorite writers, Final Payments, Men and Angels, The Rest of Life Spending. She's one of my favorite writers, Mary Gordon. This is by Milan Kundera. He is a Czechoslovakian writer. I picked this up at Salvation Army a couple of weeks ago. Life is Elsewhere. There's a photo of him. This is translated, I think, out of Czechoslovakian by Peter Kussi. I collect him. I have a huge stack of his novels. My wife picked this up for me at thrift store Horizons. This is by Barry Lopez, who passed away recently. I have this already, but I think this is travel writing, Horizon, Barry Lopez. He's one of I collect his writings. I have almost all of his books that are in print. One of my favorite books by him is Arctic Dreams. He has all kinds. There's a picture of him, Barry Lopez. So I have 2 copies of this, and I'll get rid of this someday. My wife also I found this book at Bibles to Mexico. I already have it, but it was only 50 cents, same as that Barry Lopez. This is by Lyndall Gordon, Vindication, The Life of Mary Wollstonecraft. She was the mother of Mary Shelley, and she was an early feminist. Linda Gordon is a very famous biographer. She's written biographies on T.S. Eliot, Virginia Woolf, Charlotte Bronte, Henry James. So if you see any biographies by her, they're worth buying. I also have this, my wife got this for 50 cents at a thrift store. This is Peter Matheson's The Birds of Heaven Travels with Cranes. I collect Peter Matheson's. I think he has passed away too. And this is on nature. He's written books on nature. I think this, maybe it's not. In The Birds of Heaven, Peter Matheson chronicles his many journeys in search of the world's 15 species of cranes. So that's what it's about. He's really worth, Peter Matheson is he's written novels. I have another book of his right over here that I keep by me. This book by him. I look at this all the time. It's really a great book. I like the photography in it. Peter Matheson, East of Low Montagne, The Land of the Mustang, photography by Thomas Lard. It's just really a great book. I like looking at it all the time, so I keep it by my table here. I like the photography in it, so I keep it over here. So then my wife also got this. I have another copy of this. This is Murakami, The Kaffa on the Shore, a novel. I had a paperback, that's right. I had a paperback, and right up here, I had a paperback. Oh man, went out of focus. Uh-oh. There went out of focus. I had a paperback of Kaffa on the Shore, and my wife found a hardback. So I have two. This is Deckle Edge. It's kind of worn, but I like the cover of it. I didn't know this had this kind of cover. So now I have two copies. Murakami, I think, has a new novel coming out. It's not been translated yet. And then Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Marra. I also had this in paperback. And I found a hardback of this. So now I like the hardback. It's a Deckle Edge. It's in perfect condition. It's not been, there's a picture of the writer. Yeah, I have some other novels by him in my library up there. But this is a very well-known novel. I'm not sure if I read this. I might have, but I can't remember right now. This came out in 2013. And so now I have two copies. I must have got this at the Book Nook. I have this in paperback. And this is Lives of the Poets by Michael Schmit. Mine's a paperback over there. This is a hardback. I wish it had a book cover on it, but it doesn't. I'll show you my paperback copy. See, here's the paperback, Lives of the Poets, finalist, National Book Critics Circle Award for Criticism by Michael Schmit. And I found a hardback of this book. He also wrote this book, Michael Schmit, the novel, a biography. This is really a great book to have if you're a book lover. I read it a number of years ago. I think this came out in 2014. So now both these books are worth having, The Lives of the Poets and the novel, a biography. And then I picked this up at Goodwill. History of America in 100 Maps by Susan Scholchen. This is just maps, but and she looks at these maps of America and writes about American history. I like maps. I have all kinds of books of maps down here. But it's History of America in 100 Maps. Really nice book. It's only, I think, 90 cents. But it has all these maps. This is a new map of Texas and Oregon and California. So I picked this up. Something fell out, but anyway. Oh, the receipt fell out. I keep receipts. Got to put this in my March 2023 diary. How much it cost me? It was $1.50. And then I picked up Stephen Jay Gould. I collect him. This one I didn't have in my Stephen Jay Gould collection. He Reflections on Natural History, 8 Little Piggies. This one I didn't have. And I'm going to show you the ones I collect, Stephen Jay Gould. And I got this one too, but I have this one already in my collection. Stephen Jay Gould, The Living Stones of Marrakech. I can't pronounce the name. But I'm going to show you my Stephen Jay Gould collection. Now, I didn't have this one, which I was surprised. I didn't have 8 Little Piggies. But I'm just going to show you, because I collect writers and I'm a completist. This is A Wonderful Life, The Burgher's Shell and the Nature of History by Stephen Jay Gould. And then I have Stephen Jay Gould, Question the Millennium, A Rationalist Guide to Precisely Arbitrary Countdown. And then I have The Hedgehog and the Fox and the Magister's Pox, Mending the Gap Between Science and Humanities by Stephen Jay Gould. This is the one I just showed you, The Lying Stones. The Lying Stones by Margaret. See, mine has a plastic cover on it. It's almost, but this one doesn't. See, I have 2 copies. This one's a better copy. And then I have The Full House, Spread of Excellency, From Plato to Darwin by Stephen Jay Gould. I like him because he's a great writer. And he writes about these are all essays that were in the magazine Natural History. I just showed you this one. I can't even pronounce the name. I just got this one a couple of weeks ago by Stephen Jay Gould. And then I have Measure of Man by Stephen Jay Gould, winner of the National Book Critics Circle Award. These are all primarily essays from the Natural History magazine. The Panda's Thumb, More Reflections on Natural History by Stephen Jay Gould. And then this one's a hardback. Leonard's Mountain of Clams and the Diet of Worms by Stephen Jay Gould. And then Time's Arrow, Time's Cycle, Myth and Metaphor, a Discovery of Geological Time by Stephen Jay Gould. And The Richness of Life, The Essential Stephen Jay Gould, edited by Stephen Rose. Bully for Bronticis, Reflections of Natural History, Stephen Jay Gould. I gotta hurry up, this is gonna run out. The Flamingo's Smile, Reflections of Natural History by Stephen Jay Gould. Hen's Teeth and Horse's Toes, Further Reflections of Natural History by Stephen Jay Gould. The Urchin and the Storm, Essays about Books and Ideas by Stephen Jay Gould. The Measure of Man by Stephen Jay Gould. I can't really go into these. This is going to run out. I'm going to run out of time. Life, Natural History. This is not Stephen Jay Gould. This is another book, but it's not him. This is a Stephen Jay Gould book. I Have Landed, The End of Beginning in Natural History, Stephen Jay Gould. So yeah, I collect his books. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 of his books, and there's still more. So that's the thrift store books, the used books. I collect these kinds of writers, these kinds of books. I'm not an evolutionist, so I'm not really into Jay as far as that, but he's just a good writer. He writes about all kinds of things. He's just, you can't go wrong reading him, even if you don't agree with his view of creation, since I believe that in the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve and the historical account in the first chapters of Genesis. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you these books. This film is going to come to a dead ending any moment. Hope you have a good Holy Week. Somebody commented they think that it's unbiblical to celebrate the resurrection of Christ and his death on the cross on Good Friday, and I disagree. I think at this time of year, it's good to think upon the death of Christ, his resurrection, his ascension, and that he's reigning now over the heavens and the earth. And even though I don't observe holy days, I still think this is the time to meditate upon the work of Christ, the Savior of sinners. Think about his death, how he shed his blood that saved us from sin, and he rose from the dead, and now he's reigning in heaven. I think those things are important to think about, especially in this world that seems to be going insane. Anyway, I hope you have a good Holy Week, a good reading week, and thank you for your comments and all the new subscribers. And do pray you're all doing well, and pray, come Lord Jesus. Until next time, bye.